Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Take Two. And today I'm really excited because I want the inside scoop. My guest today is Marc. I'll let him introduce himself. Tell us a little bit about yourself, especially how to pronounce your last name.
Oh, sure. Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. My name is Marc Sewtz, and I'm Senior Director for Development for Oracle Apex. I've been doing Apex for close to 25 years. Joined the Apex team in 2002, and worked on Apex ever since. And I'm managing the Apex product development team.
So, if you want to know interesting facts, I worked for Oracle in 2000. I think also 2002 or even 2001. And right. I was the product manager for HTMLDB, like the local product manager, which was the first version of Apex. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what's going on in the Apex development world and how this is kind of the new incarnation of the Oracle development tools?
Well, like we talked about, it's been around for a long time, right? And it's been, Apex has always been very popular in the Oracle community. Customers with a Forms background, with an Oracle background, they've always been using Apex for the applications. I think we had a few larger pushes over the years, I think, with OCI and Apex becoming available on OCI with the autonomous database. That certainly helped us kind of spread Apex more. More customers learned about Apex and started using Apex on the cloud, in addition to using Apex on premises. Then during the pandemic, we built a number of Apex applications.
Right, I remember that.
And they were certainly very successful. We built them very quickly, got us a lot of recognition, and more customers picked up on Apex, and a lot of internal teams started using Apex as well. So there are many groups in Oracle now who build their services and their products using Apex.
It's incredible. One of the things that I most appreciate about Apex is like the community, like how many people, like you say, love Apex, want to share their knowledge, want to like help out, share code, how do you think it became something that was such a labor of love for Oracle developers?
That's a good question. I think Apex has always been growing out of, teams using Oracle technology in companies, right? Like you had DBAs who kind of came across Apex. You had developers who kind of found Apex in the databases. I've been working with many customers here in the New York City area who just kind of started using Apex for all kinds of different reasons, right? Like ad hoc needs to build applications, like 14 years ago during that hurricane that we had here, a number of government customers started using Apex to kind of do some hurricane response apps quickly, and they've been using Apex ever since. So it's kind of been growing organically, and the community just came together, right? We always had like a lot of events, we're present at Oracle Open World, Cloud World, AI World. It became very popular at Audita Kscope, where kind of started out, I don't know, in 2007, 2008 with like one or two presentations. And now we had our own track for many years. There are a lot of European conferences where Apex is very popular. We have dedicated conferences in the Netherlands with Apex World, in Germany with Apex Connect. We're a big part of UK UG. We have lots of meetups. Last year, we had lots of tours, like Nordic tour in Scandinavia, tours in the UK and Ireland, in Spain and France. So very popular in a lot of European countries, and a lot of customers coming together just for these dedicated Apex events.
Right. I remember Joel Kalman, may his blessed memory. He used to be just this incredible force, like getting everyone together, photos, going anywhere. He basically said, anywhere you can get 50 people in a room, I'll fly to, whether it's, the Middle East.
Oh, he sure did. Yeah, he went all over the world and connected with community. Definitely.
Right. And what's funny is I'm from the Oracle Forms world, right? And for me, everybody pretends they don't use Forms, right? So it's just really funny where, you have this community that's so proud with stickers and banners. And then I'm like, well, wait a minute, you have 9,000 forms and like 2 Apex apps. Why are you Apex developers, right? So I'm going to put you on the spot, because a lot of what's happening now in the forms world is a lot of the kind of system integrators and consultants have been using different AI tools in different ways, whether it's to take an XML of the Oracle form, the FMB, and try to regenerate it in some way, or even go as far as taking a print screen. We did this, which we got incredible results. Literally take a print screen of the Oracle form, load it in, and ask them to create you a mock-up in Figma of a redesigned or more modern form. And a little birdie told me that you guys are working on a beta, right, of your SQL which might be able to even take this one step further, right? And why don't you tell us a little bit about what we have to look forward to, hopefully, right?
Well, I mean, to your point, I think AI is really good at understanding code in existing applications just by kind of looking at the definitions. And Forms is great in that it has all that information in the underlying FMB and FMX files. So you do have like access to the definitions of your Forms application XML format. So you can use AI to make sense of what your Forms application is doing, how it's working, how the UI looks like, what kind of process you have. So you can use AI to essentially have the AI write up specs for you, right? Write up the spec for your new application. So you have it look at what's in your Forms definition and then write up the spec for what your new modernized application should look like. And what we are working on in Apex is what's called Apex Lang. It's our open application specification language, which I guess in its essence is the Apex application export import metadata, right? It's the definition of your Apex application. Over the years, we had it in a SQL format. It is now in this Apex Lang format, which is a much more readable format. It looks a little bit like a YAML JSON hybrid, if you will.
I was going to say, is it like JSON or Swagger? Or
it's our own language, right? But just to kind of imagine or visualize it a little bit, when you look at it, it kind of looks a little bit like I guess a love child of YAML and JSON. And
if YAML and JSON had an Apex baby, right?
That's right. It's readable, it's diffable, it's mergeable. It will dramatically improve CI/CD with Apex. But because it's readable, it's also something that AIs can generate. So what we're working on with our blueprint concept is taking in an application specification such as what you might be able to generate from Forms, and then use that as the input for actually generating new applications in Apex and generating them in this Apex Lang format. So you take in a spec, you look at the spec, you generate a new definition or blueprint of your application, and then from there you generate the Apex Lang using, I guess, established web patterns, right? Like one of the challenges when you go from Forms to the web is that Forms has its roots in client-server. Apex web applications are optimized for browsers. There are different user experience patterns, and we kind of captured them in Apex Lang. So when you go from the Forms spec to Apex, you kind of use these established patterns to regenerate a new web-based application in Apex.
Yeah, no, that's one of the things. We are now doing a very large assessment for a client. Yeah. And that's part of the thing that's very, very difficult is to try to explain to them the difference between a desktop app and a web app, right? Yeah. Like they leave a field and it doesn't pop up the error message, right? It only happens when they submit the page and they're like, what? And they're like, why doesn't it lock the row? We're like, it doesn't work like that anymore. And they open 8 different browser tabs.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
They can't do that either. So it's really a big challenge, not only if you kind of try to take the forms and just kind of redevelop it in Apex, but there is this whole communication needed with the end users to understand that, like, what is the difference between an HTML based application and a Java kind of desktop application? Because beyond, the look and feel that's different, beyond the code where like all the code is embedded in forms versus with Apex that you need to kind of pull out that code, decouple it, and put into the database. There's also the whole element of HTML versus forms. Is Oracle doing any type of like investing in really making a forms migration wizard?
No, we're not. We had a forms migration
you're gonna
wizard.
leave that to the
Yeah, and I do think the community will be able to really kind of provide some interesting services and solutions there, right? We did have a forms migration utility like 15 years ago.
Right, a while ago.
And what that does is kind of, or what that did is kind of what I talked about earlier, right? If we looked at the FMB, FMX files, we captured all the metadata, we tried to generate Apex application, and to an extent that worked, right? But the same challenge that we just talked about, you don't want to do like a one-to-one conversion. You want to kind
business
of
logic,
things.
Right?
Yeah, for sure. And so I think AI will provide a lot of opportunities there. We are very much focused on making Apex Lang as good as it can be, and provide the tools to generate Apex applications. But we don't have any plans to build, I guess, a migration
conversion
of sorts, right? Because I mean, everybody kind of goes about it in a different way. Some customers do want to have the direct one-to-one migration. Others want to have a whole rethink. So I don't think there's a one size fits all. So I think different customers, different partners, different developers will come up with different ideas on how to go about it, and we will provide the tools to make that a lot easier than it was in the past.
Right, you'll support them from behind, as they say. What excites you most about Apex's integration with AI? Like, I assume that you guys are trying to find a lot of interesting use cases to help, developers, end users, whether it's widgets in the product, because that's another thing that was a big question when we were doing our forms to Apex assessment, that because they were so confused, they said the navigation is different, and they said, isn't there a way that we can make a chatbot to help us? Like, how do I run this form? How do I do the menu? How do I? So, are you getting a lot of these types of use cases or requests for embedding,
sure.
generative AI, help AI, chatbot, anything into Apex? And what do you guys?
Oh, for sure. I mean, there are many different areas where we look at for use of AI. I mean, there's the application generation use case that we just talked about.
Right.
But in addition to that, there's also, of course, AI for end users. So you're building Apex applications, and you want to enable your end users to use AI themselves, right? To query their data, to have a conversation, to search the data. So there are many features that we've already introduced in Apex 24.1 and 24.2, which are available today, where we have a chat widget, where we have RAG, retrieval augmented generation built in, where we have vector search built in using 26AI vector search. So there are a lot of features that allow you as an Apex developer to provide AI capabilities to your own end users. And what's interesting about it, I mean, all these AI widgets that we have in Apex, they talk to an LLM that you configure, right? You don't build an LLM into Apex. You can configure an LLM of your choice. You can use OCI Gen AI. You can use OpenAI. You can use all kinds of LLMs. And then you talk to that LLM, but you do so by augmenting your questions, your request with data and context from your application, right? So you can have much better answers. And then what's coming in our next release is AI enablement of our interactive reports. Interactive reports in Apex, they've been around for a long time. There are millions of interactive reports out in the world. Right. And with our next release, you'll be able to AI enable them and then start asking questions of your data, drill down. Of your existing reports, right? You don't have to build something new from scratch. You can start asking questions of your existing reports. You can do things like filtering, of course, and highlighting and pivot and group by and building charts and such, all with natural language. And you can do it in a very secure way, because we are not leaking out your data to an LLM, and we're also not letting the LLM write SQL for you that then is executed without anyone seeing it. All the LLM is doing is basically customizing your interactive report. It can't do anything more than your end user is allowed to do on its own. It's not generating any SQL. It's not having access to your data. So the whole experience is very secure and very accurate. You always get the correct answer because it's always only going to be based on the data that you have in your report.
Your data, right.
That's going to be a very interesting way to use AI for asking natural language questions of your existing reports.
That's actually incredible because I know people till today are still looking for something easy for their end users instead of Discover, right?
Yeah,
People,
for sure.
There's about 100 tools that like allow business users to go into Excel, and you know, in order to do that, if there's so much infrastructure you need to set up behind the scenes to connect to Oracle, etc. So, you know, this sounds very exciting.
For sure.
Hopefully people heard it here first. So thank you so much for being here today and giving us all the
Thanks for having me.
for giving us all the new insights into Apex. And thank you, everybody.
Thank you.